Welcome back to the At Home with Roby show. I'm Ashley Davis along with Trent Haston. We're your hosts. We're glad you're spending your Sunday morning with us. Whether you're in the car or on the couch, you're always at home with Roby. Visit AndrewRoby.com today. That's Andrew, ROBY.com. Trent, it's been a great conversation so far. We're still joined by Lindsay Daniel with Lindsay Daniel Architecture. We're also joined now by a client of Andrew Roby, Craig Hebe. Trent, I know we did Craig's house up in Davidson, and it was an incredible renovation.
Yeah, what was that, about 12 years ago?
Yep.
And this is the house that moved. Thanks for refreshing my memory. And then we renovated the house. So Lindsay was the architect. I think we got the call originally from Lindsay, how that kind of works. And later on, we added a garage behind his house that has a cool wine cellar in its basement. It has a living quarters on above the garage. And over the years, Craig's traveled for his career and his profession with his family over the years. So we've been blessed and fortunate to maintain Craig's home and do other various projects and renovations throughout. And I'm grateful, Craig. It's funny. I've been the project manager on several of Craig's projects. I've talked to Craig, communicated with Craig, and never formally met Craig. So, Craig, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for the business.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much for everything that you all have done for us. This was a really interesting project because the house used to be on Main Street. It was in downtown Davidson. It was owned by the college. And the college, in order to allow the town of Davidson to grow and let the businesses flourish, made an agreement that they would move the house. And someone you know, Brian Janest, was the person who actually helped the town set the foundation of the house, because it was very important, because you're moving a house that was built in 1860, so one of the oldest houses. Wow. Moved the house, and when we saw it, it was just there was just mud. There was nothing there. The CVS that is now there didn't exist, and had been for sale for about 2 years. Well, we were living in Spain and working in Madrid and fell in love with it. And then the next thing did was decided to buy it, which was a real leap of faith, and contacted Lindsay Daniel. And from there, it was pretty simple. She said, "Are you ready for what you're about to go through? Because this is not going to be simple." Because the way it worked for us was at the time we had the ability to get a historic tax credit. So I believe, Lindsay, 30% of the architectural fees and construction fees.
Yes. And it's a national historic property.
We should have raised our price. Yeah.
I should have too.
I'm joking.
I don't know how to respond to that. But Lindsay was great. She came to me and she said, "Craig, I'm going to give you the name of 3 builders because that I have a responsibility to do that." And she goes, "You really don't need to read the second and the third builder because you only want one, and that's Andrew Roby." And the reason for that is, Craig, you're in Spain. We need someone that I can trust, that I can work with, and I know the quality is going to be good enough for that house.
Very good point. Good point. And we did have to communicate from Spain to Charlotte. And thank goodness for email and scanning images back and forth.
That was back when email was just getting going.
You're right.
You know, but that's we thank you for saying that. That's how we started our offices outside of Charlotte. We had a Charlotte client that wanted to build a beach house, and he said, "I don't trust anybody else to build my beach house down at the coast. I need y'all to build it because I know you'll do it right when I'm not looking."
Because that communication still comes back to that. How good can you communicate?
It does. So was the foundation done when you bought the house?
Yeah, exactly. They had, I believe it was Brian Janest had created this foundation. So it was a beautiful brick foundation. And the college and the town, the history of the house is pretty interesting. It's called the Chairman Blake House. And he was the head of the college he came to the college in 1860 and was the head of the college from 1871 to 1877. And basically he was single-handedly the person that kept Davidson College open when a lot of the pressures after the war people wanted to close it. The trustees wanted to close it. And he insisted that the college stay open. And then the best thing he probably ever did for the college, and I didn't go to Davidson College, is that he got the streets that used to go through the college out. So he created the beautiful campus that you see of Davidson College was actually done by him. So
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, and the house itself is pretty interesting. It's a Greek revival, right?
Yes, and the other interesting thing about that, though, and why it's on the National Register, because it's a state and federal.
Can you repeat that, Lindsay? The house is
a National Historically Registered landmarks. And a lot of that is because of think of the year, 1860, Civil War began. Nothing was built during that time. All the men had gone to war, all the craftsmen, everybody. Nobody had money for materials. So to have a structure built during that time was the key.
It's a great story, and folks,
beautiful.
if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the At Home with Roby show. We're talking about historic renovations and a specific renovation that the Andrew Roby Company did up in Davidson. If you want to know more about that, go to andrewroby.com. Craig, you were living in Spain. You decided to buy this house. What was that process like for you? I think she said buckle up or strap in or something. Was that pretty much what it was?
Very much so. And what had happened originally with the house was they wanted to create infield, and it was going to be a very tight, they're putting the house on a very tight piece of land that the college had owned and sold to the city and then sold to developers. And so in talking with Lindsay, we agreed that we had to buy the lot next door, and so that was a little bit difficult to give it the space that it needed, like it used to have, because if you think they were putting it on a third of an acre from where it used to be, where an entire CVS and a parking lot is now currently. Uh-huh. So when we got that, I think, though, the thing that was most interesting is that Lindsay took a gamble and took an attic that was in the house and turned it into a master bedroom. And that's where Roby came in and did a level of construction that I think that we're walking in here today, and someone that works here at the station had come by and seen what you had done to the attic and what you had designed, Lindsay. It's
with the summer porch.
With the summer porch and with the different types of wall structure. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty neat because it was not easy to get that past the historical renovation, but since it was existing space, we were able to do it.
You have to really know your precedents to be able to deliver that to the approval process.
One thing about that summer porch, I think it has copper screening on it, and then it has some pretty cool copper flashing details that you can just see little bits of the copper, but it's the little things that we noticed that Lindsay designs and dictates on how to get the history and how to resonate the history and the quality. We just put the puzzle together, Lindsay, but those pictures stand out in my mind, and I literally haven't looked at the pictures of that porch in probably 10 years. We won some pretty cool historic awards with your home. So.
Yes, we did.
Together, right?
Together. I mean, it is like I said, you've got to have a person who knows how to get you through the process, how to design it well, and how to build it well. Because if it's not built well, at some point, or if it's not following the plans, you can lose your designation. You can be stripped if it's not done right.
Lindsay, how many years have we put together awards binders together?
Over 25.
And you since moved, but when we first met, you were over off of Providence Road behind the park. And I run over to your house, run back to the office.
We've done a lot of historic projects and a lot of regular projects, regular addition renovations.
No, I agree. Yeah. I'm partial to the historic ones, though. Wish there was more historical houses around, but I love Davidson. I love Fort Mill, and I'll tell you, a part of town that I've discovered as I've gotten older and just riding around and being nosy is out Beatty's Ford Road, out Latta, that area. I think there's some cool houses out in that area.
Johnson C. Smith's
president's eventually
house.
Get our hands on. We did a historic project at Johnson C. Smith's campus about 2 years ago. It's the president's house, George E. Davis house. So it's right off of Beatty's Ford Road on this end, though. It's on this end. So
it's a great house because that sat there for a long time without it being renovated.
Hey, guys, that's a great conversation. Can you hang with us through the break? Stay with us for one more break? You good with that, both of you? All right.
Okay.
Folks, you're listening to the At Home with Roby show today. We're talking about historic home renovations. If you have one of those you want to do, give us a call at 704-334-5477 or go to andrewroby.com and check out all of the work we've done in the past. You're listening to the At Home with Roby show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.